It has been more than 5 chapters since the Mangekyo awakening of Sarada, but still she hasn't used any ocular power in the story. While we could see her using fire and lightning style in a recent chapter, the real deal lies within her kekkei genkai. So what special ability is she going to awaken, and how will it impact the plot of Two Blue Vortex? Let's find out. Throughout the majority of Boruto's first part, Sarada wasn't that relevant to the plot until very later in the story. In chapter 69, she realized how weak she is compared to Boruto and Kawaki, and only 11 chapters later, her Mangekyo got activated in a brand new manner. The mysterious immunity from Aida's love spell and omnipotence also enhanced her narrative presence. However, none of these additions to her character could grant her the one thing that she desired back in chapter 69. It's the urgency of getting more stronger and being able to help Boruto in every way possible. The biggest hurdle for Sarada is the power difference that she shares with the Otsuzukis and Cyborgs. It's not that very likely for her to step up the ladder, which is full of formidable warriors. The only hope for Sarada lies in her Mangekyo Sharingan that is believed to reflect the desire of an Uchiha's heart. With the introduction of celestial beings like Otsuzukis and Shinjus, it would be really difficult for her to match up to their level. The Mangekyo Sharingan must provide her an ability which makes her advantageous against all the new enemies. But is it actually possible for Sarada to achieve such feat? Well, we will need to analyze the burning desires of other Uchiha members and how it manifested into their Mangekyo ability. But before going further, please hit the sub button to never miss an upload from my side. Starting off with the Amaterasu, the power of immortal flames that was manifested by the Uchiha siblings Sasuke and Itachi. The elder brother's Mangekyo reflection of this ability represents his self-consuming desire of protecting Sasuke, while as the younger brother's obsession over vengeance is what made him unlock this ability. The purpose of both Sasuke and Itachi was clear when they unlocked the Mangekyo power. The burning desire to seek revenge or save a close one manifested into the eternal flames of Amaterasu. This means the special ability that Sarada is about to awaken must have a clear purpose as well. It could even be that she will unlock the Amaterasu along with her brand new ability due to some very solid reasons. Firstly, she could inherit this power directly from Sasuke, making her the third in her bloodline to use this power, mainly because she also has a burning desire to protect Boruto, and we have seen more than a single Uchiha using this power in the past, which simply means it's not a signature ability. The only problem is that the bar has raised a lot from the times of Itachi and Sasuke. Sarada is against the Otsuzukis, and an ability like Eternal Chakra Flames is completely useless against them. Her new power needs to be really troublesome to her new enemies, and maybe we could find some hint by understanding the emotional triggers behind other Mangekyo abilities. The Tsukuyomi technique was used by Itachi Uchiha. It trapped the target in a genjutsu world where seconds turn into years with ruthless mental torture. As for the symbolism, it reflected the manipulative tendencies and emotional burden that he carried. Well, this could work as a great baseline for us to decode the special power of Sarada's Mangekyo Sharingan. She has been carrying the burden of omnipotence, and a burning desire to reveal the truth must be residing deep within her. Even the shape of her special eye hints at her illuminating everyone from darkness. The sun is a universal symbol of light and illumination. It's often associated with knowledge, enlightenment, dispelling of darkness and hope. In context of the story, we know the darkness that Sarada is supposed to end is Aida's omnipotence. However, we can't expect her to manipulate a person by throwing them in a Tsukuyomi type realm, not only because it would make the plot repetitive, but also because omnipotence is different than genjutsu and rewrites the whole memory lane of a person. So a genjutsu based ability is very less likely to be unlocked by Sarada cause it's completely useless in the era of Otsuzukis. However, the emotions that she carries must lead her to uncovering the lies that Kawaki has fed to the whole world, and it might even lead to a conflict type of situation between her and Aida. I'll be back to this topic, but let's first understand the unique Mangekyo abilities of the final two Uchihas, Obito and Shisui, in order to gather some more hints for Sarada's most anticipated power. As for Obito, he has the Kamui ability which warps objects or the user himself into another dimension. It symbolized his desire to escape the reality and the pain of his past. The Kotama Tsuki of Shisui Uchiha was an undetectable genjutsu that alters the target's emotions and memories without their knowledge. It reflects his strong loyalty and his commitment to protect the Uchiha clan from within. This ability was kinda similar to the rewrite of history by omnipotence, and I think I have figured out the true essence of the Mangekyo abilities. Well, as we know, the ninjutsus are just a weaker version of shinjutsu, the divine powers of Otsutsuki that were somehow compatible with the human race. The omnipotence is known as the shinjutsu of shinjutsus because it's able to materialize any desire of the user. The Mangekyo can transform the desires into abilities, but with some harsh drawbacks, like the overuse of this dojutsu can make the user go blind, which isn't the case with omnipotence, because after all it's a divine power. The main cause behind a desire becoming a destructive move with the Mangekyo are the ties that it shares with the divine spell. The fact that it's the shinjutsu of shinjutsus means that all the other jutsu based abilities in existence can be utilized with this power. However, the reason the Mangekyo had so many stakes like blindness and was too hard to awaken is because it had acquired a quality of omnipotence which is irreplaceable. The power of manifesting desires into abilities stops the Mangekyo from being the most broken dojutsu is the limited number of abilities that it can manifest, which makes sense because Sarada shouldn't be able to spam tons of new powers just because she has been devastated. This also clears one thing, that Indra Otsutsuki, the ancestor of the Uchiha clan, was more naturally talented than his brother Ashura due to the dominance of strong Otsutsuki genes, the genes that predestined the future of all his successors, and even Sarada, who's about to go against her own father in the future. Talking about Obito, his desire to escape the world and everything that he has witnessed in the past got him an ability like Daikokuten known as Kamui. Sarada could definitely gain an edge over her opponents by awakening a Mangekyo variant of a useful Otsutsuki power. This brings us back to her purpose of exposing Kawaki and an unavoidable conflict with Aida. The sun and moon rivalry, which has been foreshadowed many times in the story, has transformed into the tension between Sarada and Aida. While Sarada knows about the impact of Aida on Boruto's life, there is literally nothing that she can do to bring everything back to normal. However, keeping the omnipotence aside, even if Sarada gets Kawaki into trouble somehow, she might have to face Aida because after all she loves him. Now we could theorize an ability for Sarada that would give her an edge over the cyborg siblings, but I believe this love factor is about to take the story into a completely different direction. It might also change the meaning of the sun-moon symbolism of these girls, which is kinda crazy but makes sense, so hear me out. According to Aida, she loves Kawaki and this intense feeling is the sole reason which awakened her omnipotence upon seeing him in a no way out situation. However, Kawaki shortly showed the signs of physical abuse to Aida only for the sake of getting his wish granted, which was to portray Boruto as the Naruto killer. Aida might soon realize that these one-sided feelings towards Kawaki are not actually worth it because of the kind of person that she is dealing with. Kawaki has grown into a stubborn, paranoid individual who is completely goal-oriented with killing the Otsutsukis and saving Lord 7. If he sees Aida as a liability, he might get rid of her as well, which puts a threat to her life in the name of love. Now back in chapter 76, we were shown a small conversation between Aida and the girls, reflecting her desire of making real friends. Just because her ability enchants everyone around her, it's really hard for her to make real friends or find true love. This was the main reason she fall for Kawaki at first place, as he could give her what others couldn't. However, if Sarada somehow reveals to her that she ain't affected by her charm and truly cares for her as a friend, maybe she could get her over the potential abusive and manipulative obsession over Kawaki. This also explains the sun-moon symbolism that they both share. Sarada's role must be to make Aida switch sides, granting her a strong competitive edge over Kawaki. While I don't believe something like that could happen with the Mangekyo ability, it definitely niches down the potential triggers to her special ability to mainly two things. The first are the lies of omnipotence and how she needs to erase them for the sake of Boruto, and second are the celestial enemies as well as Kawaki, whom she needs to defeat in any way possible. The very first ability that I think makes sense and could help her to assist Boruto has been derived from the Limbo Hengoku technique of Madara Uchiha. It was also a Mangekyo based ability and could let the user create invisible shadow clones in a separate dimension known as the Limbo Realm. These shadow clones are intangible and cannot be detected by those in the physical world. We have seen Boruto contact Momoshiki telepathically, and there have been instances where the monster stopped time to talk to him. Well, if Sarada could also unlock such an ability, that would keep her in touch with Boruto forever, similar to the mind talk ability of the Yamanaka clan. It would make this assumption of Kawaki from chapter 4 a big foreshadowing. So Sarada taking the role to become the informer of Boruto, who's undetectable by even Aida, makes a good amount of sense. However, such ability won't scale her to Otsutsuki level, so we will need to figure out the best possible scenario for the Uchiha prodigy when it comes to offensive techniques. I think if she unlocks the Limbo Hengoku technique, it would grant her a great competitive edge over Kawaki only if the clones are undetected by his Dharma Eye. If this Limbo realm is safe from the eyes of the celestial beings, then I think it would be the best offensive ability that Sarada can have. Speaking of Hengoku, it rhymes with a word called Yosuku, which could be another top tier ability of Sarada's Mangekyo Sharingan. In Japanese, Yosuku means prediction, and this technique could make Sarada predict the next move of her opponent. Like when fighting Kawaki, she could see the trajectory of his rods seconds before he shoots them. Well, this kind of ability could grant her an edge over celestial beings like Otsutsuki's too, as it's clearly seeing the future to determine what's about to come, and then making the best move possible. The drawback of this ability should be its tendency to go wrong sometimes, cause after all it's not a Shinjutsu or divine ability. The fact that Sarada is stuck in a situation where she needs to level up at all costs, the Yosuku would be really useful to her. Also, since her eye gets contrasted to Senringan, which helps the user to peek into the past, the Mangekyo granting her a glimpse of future in a battle with high stakes is completely fair in my opinion. Remember when I said her ability will most likely be derived from a divine technique of an Otsutsuki, so what if it's actually the reflection power of Daemon that will inspire the Mangekyo ability of Sarada? What if she creates a reflective shield around her, which reflects any jutsu or physical attack back on the opponent with amplified potency? However, she would also take a portion of the reflected damage on herself, making it a high risk, high reward technique. There are some more powers that she could unlock in the future, especially the Susanoo, which might change everything about the legacies of Uchihas. But that's too much to talk about, so I will bring a dedicated video on it very soon. Don't forget to subscribe to not miss that, and I will see you next time.